Welcome back to Mindful Objective, that show where we explore health through an integrative and practical lens. I'm your host, Dr. Daniel Sproul, integrative health practitioner and professor. Today we're talking about something that sounds simple but goes far deeper than most people realize. That is hydration and mineral balance. Most people think that hydration is only about drinking enough water. But the truth is, water alone doesn't keep you hydrated. Your body depends on minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and even trace elements to actually absorb and use water at that cellular level. Without them, water just passes through your body, leaving you feel tired, foggy, and even dizzy, even if you're drinking all day long. In this episode, we'll look at what real hydration means, how mineral imbalances can lead to fatigue and brain fog, and why your body's electrical balance is key to focus and energy. As always, this show's for educational purposes only. We do not diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease. So let's go ahead and get into it. Most of us heard that the key to good health is simple: drink more water. Hydration is not just about pouring water into the body, which a lot of people confuse. It's about how your body uses that water. You can drink a gallon of water a day and still be dehydrated if your minerals are out of balance. Think of your body like a garden. If the soil is dry and lacks nutrients, the water you pour in won't stick around. It'll just run off. Your cells behave really in that same way. When they don't have minerals needed to retain moisture, those minerals, again, are sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, chloride. These are called electrolytes because they carry an electrical charge that allows water to move in and out of your cells, fuels muscle contractions, and what else does it do? It supports your heartbeat and it keeps your nerves firing correctly. Again, electric. So without electrolytes, water can't stay where it's needed. You might feel bloated after drinking too much plain water or constantly need to use the restroom. You may notice dry skin, fatigue, even headaches, even though you hydrate. This is called false hydration. Plenty of water with but very little absorption. Now let's look at modern lifestyle. We filter our water to remove contaminants, which is important, but the same process removes essential minerals. We eat processed foods that are low in potassium, magnesium. We live under chronic stress. And when you live under chronic stress, it drains sodium through your adrenal glands. We exercise indoors in temperature-controlled environments, but sweat out electrolytes when we do move. It's easy to see why that mineral depletion has become so common, especially for those that do a lot of sweating or actually do sauna therapy. So one of the first signs often that goes unnoticed is feeling tired after lunch, dizziness when standing up quickly, tight calves at night, or lips that never seem to stay moisturized. Over time, these mild signals turn into real symptoms: brain fog, heart palpitations, muscle spasms, or overwhelming fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. So what do? Mindful Objective, we teach you that hydration is an electrical process, not a mechanical one. Your body is a network of currents. Each nerve signal, heartbeat, and muscle movement depends on that steady exchange of those charged minerals. When the current weakens, the entire system slows down. That's why we use the HTMA, hair tissue mineral analysis, to look beneath the surface. A blood test only shows what's circulating right now. Here reveals how well your body is storing and losing minerals over several months. It tells us if your sodium to potassium ratio shows adrenal fatigue or if your calcium to magnesium are out of sync, affecting muscle tension and your mood. Once we have that picture, rebalancing becomes straightforward. For some, it starts with adding trace mineral drops to filtered or distilled water. That might mean adjusting their diet. And you could do this by including more avocados, sea salt, leafy greens, and even seeds, or supplementing with magnesium glycinate or balanced electrical powder. There's multiple products out there that are really good. But remember, these small steps change how your body absorbs and uses water. So you got to get that hydration levels up. Clients are often surprised at how quickly they notice a difference. Their skin feels smoother, their energy levels stabilize, and being thirsty all the time kind of subsides. It isn't magic, it's physiology. When the right minerals are in place, water can finally stay inside those cells instead of rushing through. We also remind clients that hydration connects to everything else: digestion, detoxification, metabolism, even your mood. Your body uses water to move nutrients, remove toxins, and cools itself. None of that happens efficiently if your body's missing electrolytes. So if you find yourself drinking water all day but still feeling tired, foggy, or thirsty, don't assume more water is the answer. The problem might be what you're missing in that water. Balancing minerals is the foundation of true hydration. Now let's talk about the fatigue connection here. Fatigue is one of those symptoms that almost everyone experiences, yet most people don't realize how deeply it ties to hydration and that mineral balance. It's easy to blame lack of sleep, stress, or caffeine withdrawal, but if your electrolytes are off, your cells can't make or use the energy effectively. Let's break this down to be more simple. Every single cell in your body produces energy in a form of ATP. ATP is like your body's electricity. It powers everything from muscle movement to brain activity. The process of creating ATP happens inside mitochondria, which are those tiny powerhouses of your cells. For those mitochondria to function, they rely on certain minerals. Again, magnesium, sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus. Here's the catch. ATP can't do anything without magnesium. It's not even active until it binds with magnesium to form MgATP. This is the usable version of your body's energy currency. So if you're low on magnesium, you might produce energy molecules, but your body can't actually use them efficiently. It's like trying to turn on the light without plugging the lamp into the outlet. Now onto sodium and potassium. They also play essential roles. They regulate the electrical gradients that move the nutrients in and out of cells. When you don't have the right ratio to sodium and potassium, your cells struggle to maintain that charge. This will lead to sluggish energy, muscle weakness, and that heavy feeling that coffee just cannot fix. And calcium, right? We hear this one a lot. Most people think of it as a bone mineral. Actually, it helps with nerve transmissions and muscle contractions. When calcium is imbalanced, you might notice twitches, stiffness, and overall sense of tension in body. Tight trapezius, right? Twitchy eye. Now think about what happens in real life. You drink filtered water all day, you skip meals, live under stress, and drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee to stay awake. Each of those habits deplete minerals. Coffee acts as a diuretic. It pulls water and electrolytes out through urine. Stress raises cortisol, which tells your kidneys to release sodium. Over time, that constant drain leaves your cells unable to hold on to water or generate that energy efficiently. What's the result? You feel tired even when you're technically hydrated. You may crave salt, sugar, caffeine just to get through that day. Your body wants and is asking for a mineral balance. So what do we do again? At Mindful Objective, we focus on a hair tissue mineral analysis test and also that organic acid test. We want to pinpoint whether fatigue is due to mineral deficiencies, adrenal stress, mitochondrial dysfunction. These tests don't just show numbers, they reveal patterns. They help us understand how stress, diet, and lifestyle have affected your energy system over time. Once we know that cause, rebuilding is straightforward. Sometimes all it takes is supporting that foundation, right? More whole foods rich in potassium, avocados, sweet potatoes, coconut water. Also increasing magnesium through leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and supplement with magnesium glycinate, which is good. And adding a pinch of sea salt, where you hear a lot in videos nowadays. Add that in the morning to restore sodium levels. For clients under chronic stress or adrenal fatigue, we may also recommend adrenal support formula that includes adaptogenic herbs and minerals designed to help the body hold on to the electrolytes even better. All these options are available. Again, we use full script. You could sign up via our website, get 20% off retail. So remember, when your electrolytes are balanced, you'll notice energy feels different, smoother, steadier, and natural. You're no longer dependent on caffeine to function. Morning energy rises gently, not in that jolt from when you have caffeine. Your mental clarity could return. That's because true energy isn't about stimulation. It's about cellular efficiency, right? So let's talk about something else that almost everyone struggles with at some point. And that is brain fog. That heavy, cloudy feeling when you're awake but not fully alert. You read that same line twice, forget simple details. You walk into a room, can't remember why you went there. That's frustrating, especially when you're trying to be productive or creative. And so here's what most people don't realize. Brain fog is often not just a mental issue. It's a hydration and mineral issue. Your brain runs on electrical impulses, right? Every thought, reaction, movement depends on those tiny electrical signals firing between neurons. Those signals rely on water and minerals, specifically sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, and trace elements like zinc and manganese, right? When hydration or minerals drop, those signals slow down. It's like static on a phone line. Even mild dehydration, as little as 2% body water loss, can impair focus, short-term memory, and decision-making. That's because your brain is roughly 75% water and needs consistent electrolyte balance to transmit signals efficiently. Without it, neurons literally struggle to fire. So step back. Here's how it works. Sodium and potassium create the charge that allows electrical impulses to move through neurons. Magnesium calms overexcited nerve cells and supports neurotransmitter productions. Calcium helps release those neurotransmitters. These are chemicals your brain uses to communicate. When any of these minerals are off, focus, clarity, and even mood are affected. You might notice irritability, forgetfulness, or mental fatigue even if you slept well. Now add on to that modern life equation, constant stress, caffeine, processed foods, too little rest, high cortisol levels, which is your stress hormones, They cause your kidneys to excrete sodium and water. Over time, that lowers blood volume and leaves you mildly dehydrated if you're drinking plenty of water. That's why people who experience brain fog also deal with adrenal fatigue or anxiety. The brain and adrenals are connected through mineral balance. When you're under that chronic stress, your body burns through magnesium and sodium rather quickly, which will lead to that foggy thinking, poor focus, and irritability. We look at that HTMA and that organic acid test. We want to understand, even on the side of cortisol, we may do a cortisol test to understand and see that sodium potassium ratio to see if it's depleted, which reflects that adrenal performance. While the cortisol test reveals how your stress hormones behave throughout the day, we still need to look at the cause of the actual issue itself. Once we do have that data, we create that personalized plan to restore clarity. So it may include magnesium glycinate, right? We talked about that one. Trace mineral drops, right? You would add that through your water throughout the day. Zinc and B vitamins, we always harp on those. So we use those to improve neurotransmitter production. And a balanced hydration routine that includes both water and electrolytes rather than water alone. We see so many people, they think they're overhydrating with a lot of water, but they're not doing anything. They're causing more problems than good. Dizzy spells, fogginess, headaches, and they're drinking a lot of water. So there's a key to it. We also teach clients to minimize mineral thieves, right? These include alcohol, refined sugar, too much caffeine, all which increase mineral excretion. Even carbonated drinks, certain medications can deplete magnesium and potassium over time. One simple practice we recommend is starting your morning with what we call adrenal water. Just a glass of warm water, squeeze a lemon, and pinch of sea salt. This combination gently wakes your system, helps absorb water, and replenishes sodium after a night of fasting. Another key factor is timing. The brain depends on steady hydration throughout the day, not large doses all at once. Instead of chugging water occasionally, sip slowly every 30 to 60 minutes. You're supposed to do this with protein shakes too. I know it's hard for a lot of people. I don't like doing it, having a protein shake for 30 minutes, but a lot of times, I have a protein shake and I knock it out in 2 minutes. But you're supposed to, sip it over a course of 30 to 60 minutes. The reason for this on the water side, it keeps your neurons firing smoothly and helps prevent that mid-afternoon mental crash. The results are often fast. Within days of restoring minerals and adjusting hydration, clients report clearer thinking, focus, better mood, and less reliance on caffeine. It's one of those foundational shifts that feels almost too simple to work, yet it does. Because here's the truth, your brain isn't running low on motivation, it's running low on charge. Think of your cell phone. When you have hydration, minerals, and stress balance, when they're all in sync, you stop fighting your brain to function. It just performs. If you're struggling with brain fog, poor concentration, or constant drained feeling, we help you pinpoint that cause. Visit mindfulobjective.com to learn more. And clear thinking doesn't come by pushing harder. It comes from supporting your body's internal balance. When you give your brain the minerals and hydration it needs, clarity follows naturally. Now let's focus on how to do it right in your daily life. This is where science meets the practical side. Most hydration advice stops at drink 8 glasses of water a day. It's simple, but it's very, very outdated. Hydration is not one size fits all because your body has different needs based on activity, diet, environment, and stress levels. Again, everybody's individualized. Someone working in an office has very different hydration demands than someone exercising outdoors or dealing with adrenal fatigue, or people like Geraldo that are walking, 15, 25 miles a day. Let's start with this in the morning. Most important time to hydrate, right? In the morning. When you wake up, your body has gone hours without water. You've been breathing, sweating, and using fluids all night long. And that's why most people wake up feeling stiff, foggy, or tired even after sleeping. But before you reach for that coffee, start your day with mineralized water. Here's a simple routine we teach clients at Mindful Objective. Fill a glass of water with room temperature water, add a pinch of sea salt or trace mineral drops, squeeze a little bit of fresh lemon. This combination helps replenish sodium that's lost overnight. It supports your adrenal functions. It gives your cells what they need to absorb water. Think of it as hydration before stimulation. Coffee later will feel smoother because your system isn't running on empty, right? Do not just have coffee first thing in the morning. Start with hydration. Next, sip that water gradually throughout the day instead of chugging it all at once. When you drink too much water in one sitting, your kidneys at that point will start to excrete it quickly by flushing out all your valued electrolytes. So you're defeating the whole purpose. Slow, steady intakes gives your cells time to absorb water and maintain balance. Aim for about half of your body weight in ounces of total fluids daily, adjusting for exercise and heat. So that's where we always say about food tracking or intake tracking, liquid tracking. Track to see actually how much water you are drinking throughout the day. Timing matters too. Drinking a glass of water 20 to 30 minutes before meals aids digestion, while drinking large amounts during meals can dilute stomach acid. After exercise, replace both water and minerals. Coconut water is good, electrolyte powders are good, and lightly salted foods also work well. Now let's talk about the kind of water you drink. Filtered or bottled water may taste clean, but most modern purification systems remove those minerals. Reverse osmosis and distilled water are dead waters. They're free of contaminants, but also are free of electrolytes. If you rely on them, it's essential to add trace minerals. I usually do this in those mineral drops, or you can use the high quality electrolyte powders. Their Body Health has a good one. Without them, you'll be hydrating and depleting yourself at the same time. It's not what you want. The balance of sodium and potassium is especially important here. Sodium helps retain water, while potassium helps move it into the cells. When these are out of balance, you may retain fluid, experience swelling, or feel sluggish. Adding foods again like avocado, sweet potatoes, oranges, and leafy greens help restore potassium naturally, but you have to eat a lot of them, so sometimes people have to take those potassium supplements. Magnesium is another unsung hero of hydration. It relaxes muscles, improves energy, and supports other processes in the body. Many people are deficient because of stress, caffeine, and processed food. They all deplete it. Drinking extreme amounts of water without replenishing electrolytes can lead to hyponatremia, which is a dangerous drop in sodium levels. Symptoms include fatigue, confusion, headaches, in severe cases, nausea. The goal is balance, not excess. Say this all the time. Not excess. People get excessive on stuff. Take slow. Slow your roll, as The Rock would say. So same thing is you got to slow down, understand, and take everything in moderation. You can also support hydration through food. Cucumbers, watermelon, celery, strawberries, and romaine lettuce all are water-rich and naturally contain electrolytes. Soups and broths are an excellent way to combine hydration and minerals, especially during those colder months. If you sweat heavily, exercise often, or have adrenal stress, you may need an electrolyte supplement daily. I always recommend, personally, for myself and family, is I always say, add electrolytes and use electrolytes daily. We do recommend avoiding sugary sports drinks instead of using clean options that contain sodium, potassium, magnesium without those artificial additives. So what do? We customize hydration strategies here at Mindful Objective. Through that lab testing, focus on rebuilding those sodium levels, and you have to rebuild potassium magnesium balance. You have to understand that. The testing, again, takes out the guesswork and allows us to target exactly what your body needs. The difference between being hydrated and optimally hydrated shows up fast. Steadier energy, a better mood, clearer skin, improved digestion. It's not about preventing dehydration. It's about optimizing performance and your overall health. So tomorrow morning, skip the rush to coffee. Start with your mineralized water. Sip it consistently throughout the day and support your cells, not just your thirst. When hydration is done right, it's not a chore, it's a rhythm, one that fuels clarity, focus, and lasting energy all day long. So we did cover a lot in this episode. I didn't mean it to be this long. And finally, when people think of dehydration, they imagine extreme thirst, dry mouth, or maybe dizziness. But dehydration can look subtle. It could be low energy, poor concentration, irritability, or even muscle tension. These are all signs your body's trying to communicate that it's not getting the minerals or water it needs to function at its best. Where do you start? You start by understanding your baseline. Most people are guessing when it comes to hydration and mineral intake. They try random electrolyte drinks or supplements, hoping something sticks. But without testing, it's like driving with your dashboard lights off. You might get somewhere, but you don't know how efficiently. That's why at Mindful Objective, we mentioned those tests: hair tissue mineral analysis, organic acid test. 2 great tests. The big one we already talked about is the HTMA does identify different minerals such as sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Then we look more in depth at that OAT test. This is the one that really matters. It complements them beautifully between those 2 tests. It looks at how your body's actually using those minerals in energy production, detoxification, and neurotransmitter balance. It helps us see if mitochondrial function or oxidative stress is contributing to your fatigue or poor focus. Together, those 2 tests give the full picture on how hydration works internally for you specifically. Once we have those results, we build a plan around food, supplements, and lifestyle. This might, again, include adding more magnesium-rich foods, spinach, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate, increasing potassium through avocado or coconut water, or balancing sodium through sea salt or mineral-rich broths. For supplementation, we focus precision and quality. Again, 20% off at the website. Take advantage of our discount. Magnesium glycinate, right, for muscle relaxation, cellular energy. Trace mineral drops for hydration support. And that could be, powder such as Body Health has a good one. Adrenal support to strengthen sodium and cortisol regulation. Electrolyte powders such as Body Health, especially for those who exercise and work long hours, you may need more. And remember, hydration isn't only about what you drink or take. It's also about your lifestyle. Stress, poor sleep, overexertion deplete minerals quickly. That's why it's part of the approach to address root causes of imbalance. Managing stress through breath work, meditation, light movement can help your body retain minerals. Prioritizing sleep allows your kidneys and adrenal glands to reset overnight. What else do we remind clients to do? Think about your environmental factors. Air conditioning or heating systems dry out your body faster than you think. So can excessive screen time. Are you on your phone all day? Are you on a computer all day? Staring at a digital devices lowers your blink rate, and what else does it do? Increases your water loss through your eyes, leading to fatigue and headaches that also mimic dehydration symptoms. Small adjustments like taking breaks, hydrating regularly, and spending time outdoors. These will all make a difference. Hydration supports every function in the body. It helps regulate temperature, aids digestion, cushion joints, supports detoxification, and fuels cognitive performance. Remember that. But when we reduce it and say drink more water, we miss the real opportunity to bring that entire system into balance. That's our goal here. True hydration is about retention, not volume. It's about making sure every cell in your body has what it needs to thrive. When your minerals, hydration, and lifestyle align, your energy feels effortless. Your thoughts become clearer, you recover faster, and you simply function better. So if you want to stop guessing and finally understand your body, visit mindfulobjective.com. Reach out, have a question, send us a question. We'll gladly answer it. Not a big deal. Every client we work with has that unique mineral fingerprint. Once we uncover yours, we can help you build a sustainable plan that fits your lifestyle and your goals. And as we wrap things up here, remember, at the end of the day, hydration isn't a quick fix. It's the foundation. And when the foundation is strong, everything else in your health journey becomes easier. At least now you know what true hydration looks like, why electrolytes matter, and how testing can reveal what your body really needs. As always, remember, the information shared here is for educational purposes only and should never be taken as medical advice. Always consult your qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your health plan. Be sure to reach out via mindfulobjective.com if you have any questions or you want to look further into testing. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay mindful, stay healthy, and stay empowered.